Welcome back to Real Talk with me, Anele. We're talking about relationships, how to move on after a failed relationship. Can we even call it a failed relationship, huh? How and where do you find love again? Stacey Lewis went through it all. She's been there, done that, got the t-shirt and the accessories. She shares her story every chance she gets because she is passionate about empowering others and inspiring people to believe that divorce does not have to be the end of you. She's the founder of the Divorce Source and the author of Divorce 101, Survive and Thrive. Welcome, Stacey Lewis.
Thanks, Anele.
Your name was always made to be an author one, so clearly this divorce thing helped us out here.
Well, I needed the name change, exactly.
Oh,
you
is
see.
Lewis Maiden?
No, Lewis is second marriage. You know, my voicemail actually said, if you're looking for Stacey Zidle, Stacey Ayres, or Stacey Lewis, you've reached the right place.
At least you've got a sense of humor about
You
it. But
got
I
it.
can imagine when your child was 3 years old and the other one was, what, 22 months?
And the other one, 8 months.
8 months. And your husband comes home from an overseas trip and he says, darling, I'm leaving you. What goes through your mind?
I don't know if much went through my mind. I literally, I collapsed to the ground in absolute panic and horror and shock. I really, that was not what I was expecting.
So you honestly did not pick up
No.
any vibes from him?
No. We had a moment when I was pregnant with my third. I was 28 weeks pregnant. We went on a baby moon, and he said to me, it's not marriage material. And yeah, anyway, he went to therapist, said it's an early midlife crisis. We dealt with it. And from that point until the day I call Hiroshima, I really thought we were good.
Is he a good liar, or were you blind?
I think that now, with hindsight, I really do believe that a relationship is as happy as the unhappiest party in the relationship. So I think I must have been sleeping. I really do. I have to own that, because if I had no inkling that this was going to happen, clearly I wasn't awake.
So when he says he wants a divorce, okay, obviously you said you were on the floor, but now you have to get up and you have to put your big old panties on. What are you doing? Are you begging? Are you bargaining? Are you trying to fix it? And how quickly do you accept?
Oh, I didn't accept for a long time. So the first thing is I absolutely begged, pleaded, can we go for therapy? Can we do something? And he did consent briefly, not that day, but perhaps about a week later, to try again, which lasted about a week. But I would have done anything. He could have told me, you can stand on your head. I would have stood on my head. Acceptance for me took a very, very long time. I didn't want to accept this reality. I really didn't. And I tortured myself with all these thoughts of why did it happen? Where did it go wrong?
What did I do wrong?
But I think of course, what did I do wrong?
Should
but
I
he
be more
must
this?
love me, you know, he must. I saw that twinkle in his eyes. This can't be. I didn't want to accept this reality, and it took me a really long time to be able to accept that.
Do you find that you would relapse in your road to recovery when you found him being nice to you? Because obviously you're the mother of his children, so there is a certain level of, him being cordial that's going to happen. If you're sick, he's going to worry that you're sick because you're taking care of his children. Were there those moments when you're like, but wait, why would he care if I had my vitamin C today? If he doesn't love me, let's try this thing.
Look, for me, it was very clear that he was very clear that it was over. So there was no opportunity for me even to play these mind games in myself that maybe there was a chance. There was no chance, which in hindsight, I think was kind to me, because then you don't have to play those games.
Yeah.
But I still didn't want to accept.
So what was the one step that pushed you towards acceptance?
So I had a good friend. So afterwards I became very, very depressed. I was anorexic, I was passively suicidal, I used to pray at night that God would take me in my sleep. And I weighed 38 kilograms and landed up in hospital once or twice, and I had been crying constantly. And my friend was sitting on the foot of my bed, and she said to me, when are you going to choose happiness? And I thought, I'm not going to say the word, right?
But I hear what you thought.
You have got 3 children, you've got a husband, what the hell do you know? You're asking me, when am I going to choose happiness? And she said to me, if you don't choose happiness and you don't choose to move on from this, you are going to be here in 4 years' time, and you are going to be sick of your story. And she was right.
Wow.
And really, for me, that was a pivotal moment, because I realized that I could tell myself and the world and whoever my story forever, and I could be stuck. Or I could make a decision. Happiness doesn't mean choosing happiness tomorrow, you know?
Yeah.
No. Choosing happiness means choosing to move on. Choosing happiness means taking active steps towards recovery. So that for me really was a defining moment.
Did you have to ask yourself some tough questions like, you know, did I validate myself through marriage? Was my worth the fact that I was somebody's wife? Did you have to ask yourself, like, how much of my ego is speaking as opposed to my real feelings?
So not so much ego for me, but I really found that I defined myself by my roles.
Yeah.
So I'm a physiotherapist by profession. So it was Stacey the physio, or Stacey the wife, or Stacey the mother. And what I found really hard, and I remember this so clearly, on my first weekend without my kids, I wasn't a physio because I wasn't working. I wasn't a wife because I didn't have a husband, and I wasn't a mom. And the scariest thing for me was, who am I? Yeah.
And who did you find out?
I found out that I'm quite a good gal, you know. I actually, I really learned to love myself, and I discovered so many things about myself. I mean, I landed up running a 21-kilometer race. I think it was 2011 when I don't think I could walk 2 kilometers.
Yeah.
I discovered new things about myself, new talents within myself. I did things that I never tried before because I actually never explored who I was outside of my roles.
So then the book, when did this idea come to you?
So what happened is, after I actually recovered, and I can't tell you I recovered on the 24th of January, whenever, do you know what I'm saying? But when I started feeling better, I started informally helping women. Particularly women, I say, because I am one, so I have more to offer, because that's my experience, right? So I started helping women informally, and then this book was released on, I think, the 21st of September last year. A year before that, I started a website, The Divorce Source. So that's when I formalized it. But the book happened by magic. I had written a children's book, and I went to see a publisher, and she said to me, it's wonderful and everything, but there's no market. So if you come to me with a book on divorce, I'll publish it.
Okay.
And that's what happened.
Did your friend who was sitting at the bottom of the bed, did she write the foreword?
She didn't.
Ah, yeah, Flopile, Stacey. I mean, come on.
My bad.
Oh,
Bad
who wrote the
move.
foreword?
I don't think I've got a foreword, have I?
Check.
You know, it was a long time ago, you must know. Now, I've got 4 children now. I mean, I don't want to spoil the end of the story, but you know what happens to your brain.
I mean, it would have been such a nice... I think you wrote the foreword. Look at you loving yourself.
Did I?
like
How's that, hey? Ego.
High five. Okay, you are not alone. The one thing I liked in here, when I was looking at it, was you break down the process of how to tell the children that there is a divorce happening. We're about to say goodbye to you, but I mean, for me, that's always the reason people stay in unhappy marriages, is for the kids. A, that doesn't help the kids. B, what is the first step towards telling the kids that you guys are splitting?
Well, it really depends on the children's age. In fact, I had a psychologist write on that. It depends on their age, how much information you give them. But should you give them a blow for blow, you know, and he ran off with, I don't know, whoever.
And came back with my sister.
No, it's about mommy and daddy are getting divorced. But really, you'll have to read the book for it. It really is so age specific. And it really, you shouldn't give them all the gory details. They need to know that there's going to be a lifestyle change. They need to know mom and dad are getting divorced. We're not going to be living together. But as for the nitty-gritty, absolutely, and that's what you've got to focus on. That's the main thing.
Stacey Lewis, I don't think this is going to be your last book that you write, by the way.
Definitely, I'm busy with the next one.
I knew it. There's a lot happening in this, so she's going to be back here. Thank you so much to Stacey for inspiring people. Your truth. If you want to find, the light at the end of the tunnel, rather, visit the Divorce Source or get the copy of this book, Divorce 101: Survive and Thrive. It's Q&A time with our relationship coaches after this.